So let's try to talk some sense here. So I've got the runes here. I just pick out some. Here is Ingwas, Ingus, Ingunar, the rune of Freyr, Ingunar Freyr. In the Poetic Edda, they talk about Ingunar Freyr, so the god of fertility and all such. And he is being initiated in one of the Edda stories. I pick another rune that was. This one is from the Danish runes, and it's another way of looking at Hagalos, which this one I think is very interesting because you see like the IX like this, and the X and the ZX, CX. So you see the like Heimdall with his eyes, he sees everything. So he's looking in the 6 directions like this. So this is the Hagal, the rune of the Danes. I just picked out a couple of runes here, and this is one of my own. This is another one of my own. So these are pretty mysterious, and another mysterious one. Well, anyway, I would like to talk about something else, and I did not pick the runes that I wanted to talk about really, but that would be a real coincidence. But here's one of them, Kenaz. So for me that is the element fire, because Kenaz is the torch, the carrying the fire. That's pretty interesting. Some people say Fehu is the rune of fire, but I don't see it that way. I feel for me it's like the rune of fire is Kenaz. I'm looking for the Isa rune. I've got too many funny. What is funny? Well, there's some. I carry some crazy wisdom. So this is that is funny as well. It is real wisdom, but it's funny as well. I'm looking for Isa. So that's just one line I'm looking for. I'm going through all these runes and Bindruner, the one combination of runes that I've been shown, because Freyr is my initiator. Ingunar Freyr, he came to me like in a vision, anyway. We all can encounter the gods because they are real when we take them real. This one is pretty interesting. This one is not really, it looks like a combination of runes, and it is a combination of runes, but this one, it means the palm of the hands. So in a way it's kind of a healing power. But this is not coming from the runes, this is coming from the Phoenician alphabet. And the Phoenicians were the first to make an alphabet looking like runes. Some really look like runes. Well, for as far as we do know, because the runes are way old. This is another Phoenician one. This means door. Maybe Torisas can mean door as well. So maybe you don't need that rune. But the palm of the hands, it's pretty hard to understand. But it's nice that I pick out this one, because I will tell you about it. I'm looking for Isa, and I'm looking for Isa and Kenaz. So you see here kind of Isa and Kenaz, no? Isa and Kenaz. I still didn't find Isa. Sometimes, there she is. Well, I do think some of the runes are male and other runes are female. Anyway, so I started a new rune journey, and anyway I had this how you call it, this insight to start a new rune journey, and now starting with me, with in Dutch it's ik, or in German ich, and in Scandinavian Jai. And so in English it's I, and it's funny because I is like Isa. It's I, and you can see here like the straight spine, But in old language, I have to look for another one. In Dutch, you would write, I don't know how it is, ik. You would write ik, yes? So you would say ik, so that's a combination. Today, no, it's not old Dutch, it's modern Dutch. I say ik, that's and that's close to eik. And in old, I've been telling about this before, in old Scandinavian, in old Germanic language, ik, I, and ook are one and the same. So we as Germanic people, when we use the word I, ich, or in Germanic language, when we use the word I, ich, jij, ik, it all means, it comes back to ook, eigen, eik in Dutch, eigen in German. I don't know the Scandinavian word, but it's the oak tree, of course. So, then again, we see Isa and Kenaz in Dutch language, if I write down ik. So, in modern Dutch language, ik, Isa, Kenaz. So, then looking at the meaning of the runes, we see Isa, the eyes, and we see Kenaz, the torch or the fire. So, when we look back to the Edda, the first story, or what's supposed to be the first, should be the first story in a way, if we look at the story of the Ginnungagap, that's the start of everything. And since there is in spiritual reality no beginning and no end, it's endless and it's always starting again. So there it is in the endless here and now as well, the Ginnungagap, it is within us. And anyway, the universe might have appeared at a certain moment like starting from a Ginnungagap, a yawning gap, like this big hole, and then all of a sudden everything came into existence. But this is something that is happening all the time, really. So, well, that is hard to grasp, maybe, but in essence, it is like that. But anyway, the story tells there was this Ginnungagap, there was nothing, there was only nothingness, no above, no below, no west, north, east, nor south, which are four dwarfs carrying the skull of Ymir. But anyway, that's later in the stories. Anyway, fire and ice. From the nothingness there appears the worlds of fire and ice. In the north there is the Niflheim, the world of ice, and in the south there is the Muspelheim, the world of fire. And these worlds, they grow, and the ice and the melting ice and the fire, the lava, it all falls down in the Ginnungagap, and then all of a sudden everything comes into motion. So we have this in this Ginnungagap, the giant Aurgelmir, or we humans and the gods, they call him Ymir, Aurgelmir, the screamer from the mud, and Aurgelmir, so that's how the giants call him. And he's this sleeping, dreaming, slumbering giant. He's in this Ginnungagap, and he's been feeded by Aurgelmir, the great feeder. So, wow, this is a beautiful goddess, really, like it feeds us as human beings, as everything. It's when fire and ice come together, there is the steam is rising, and from this white steam, there's this this beautiful white cow coming into existence, and this cow has his corners Why does this light go off? It has its corners in the 4 directions, in the corners of the universe, and from the udders of the cow, milk is dropping down, and we can see this milk in the night. We can see the Milky Way still, and this milk feeds Aurgelmir, the giant, and from Aurgelmir slowly everything comes to existence. He's the grandfather of Odin. Odin. Anyway, I was thinking of the 2 brothers, Fili, Odin, Fili, and Fe, the two brothers of Odin, which the names might mean. Odin might be the spirit, the consciousness, and the mental spirit, while the Fili might be the willpower, very very essential, and Fe might be the sacred space, the sacred space. So, and this might be very much related to the first rune, Fehu. Why not? And then we have finally a female. We have a female there at the very start of the here, Fehu. I don't know if it's backwards on the because I make this video recording on what's it called, on Photoshop on Face on my Mac computer, and sometimes I have to swap it around, or you have to do it yourself. Well, anyway, in earlier days they used to make the runes in both directions. They might not have this concept of our idea nowadays. Anyway, so Odin, Fili, and Fe. Okay, back to Ik, Isa, and Kenaz. Isa and Kenaz. So we have the fire and the ice. Wow, ain't that wonderful? But then again, we have to look at the word in Dutch, Eik. Eik. Oh, I wish I knew how. I should have known the old spelling of the word Eik, eigen. But I want to stay close to my own language, because I had this epiphany. That was a word I was looking for before. I'm looking for the rune Eivas, because if we go a little bit back in time, and Eivas, here's Eivas. I hope it's not backwards for you. So, anyway, Eivas. The meaning of Eivas is the yew tree, so the tree of death and life. The yew tree, if you eat the leaves, you will die. And if you eat the berries, you will live. They are pretty healthy, but you cannot eat the seeds within the berries. So don't show children you are eating the berries. It's dangerous. And at the same time, this is again life and death. So at the same time, they make cancer, they make chemo from the young green leaves. So it helps to heal. And then they used to make the best bows and arrows from the yew tree. So you kill to live, life and death. And most of the time they are standing on graveyards, because it also symbolizes reincarnation in a way. Or the tree seems to stand for thousands of years, for eternity on the same spot. So that's kind of also why they are on graveyards, for this idea of eternity. But you might also look at the idea of reincarnation. And reincarnation might be very possibly and very likely also a Germanic and Eddic view of the world. When we look at the story of Odin, Odin burning the witch. Anyway, maybe I should not go into that. This Gulfviker, the story of Gulfviker and Heider, later she becomes Heider. Odin burns her and watches what happens, and she comes back alive, and he burns her again and again, and then she transforms into Heider, Gulfaker, which means the road of gold, or the one who carries the gold within herself. Anyway, so I was, I was talking about I was. And when we would write in modern Dutch, when we would say Eik, we would use this combination. If you would write it in the old, the way of the elder Futark, we would write Eik in this way, because this is I and this is Ka, this is K, the sound K. Anyway, so, but then looking at the meaning, it's also again interesting, because then we get the tree that carries the fire, no? It might be the tree that carries the fire within itself, or the tree that carries the fire. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. I had this little epiphany. I don't know what it means yet. So this is quite enough for right now. I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about working with a magic square of the first numbers 1 till 9. There's a magic square making that all the lines count up till 15. So in this, you do it like this. You can use your fingers like this, and you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the number of the middle. 6, 7, 8, 9. You see the 9. You have 9 finger parts here. So I do it once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now if you count up any line, you will see the number is 15. So now I would like to look at what you get when you get a lot of different stories when you look at this magic square and put the runes in there. So you go like Fehu, Urus, Turisas, Ansus, Raido, Kenaz, Gebo, Wunjo, Hagelas. What is the story here? 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 And 5, Fehu, Urus, Turisas, Ansus, Raido. Raido is the rune of the middle, so it might be the rune of the. This might be the rune of the Midgard, and then we have 9 worlds. Like when you go to the 9 worlds, which is a sacred number, and when you look at numbers, we have the numbers 1 till 9, and the whole universe is built on the numbers 1 till 9. And when we add the wisdom of the runes with this, then we have, we have this, the meaning that these runes have for us or for me, or so we will explore that soon. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Please leave a response when looking at this. I also will add my Patreon. So if you would become a Patreon, if you would help me with this work, that would be fantastic. And anyway, have a beautiful, blessed day, and may the runes bless you all. I would like to say Mitakuyasin and also Yggdrasil.